What could be more motivating than a glass of Tropicana orange juice in the morning? Achieving your goals, making money, de-stressing? Okay, maybe they're not as good as orange juice, but they are still pretty nice. Welcome to the Orange Juice Podcast, where you'll get motivating and action-provoking content without all the pulp. Your host, me, Reggie Davis, brings orange juice to inspire the world with stories and ideas, both personal and shared, to help you peel back your fears and squeeze out your best self. Hello and welcome back to the Orange Juice Podcast. I'm Reggie Davis, your host, and I have a lot of explaining to do. So for all of my millions and millions of followers, I'm sure you guys are wondering, why is this podcast so late? Because I'm 8 days late from my last podcast and obviously a day late for this current one. And so really, the short answer is life happened. And life just keeps on happening. I've been dealing with a lot of crazy stuff over the past month and a half, doing my best to just keep up with everything. And arguably, I feel like I've been doing pretty good because I've been dealing with some things. I could go and tell many stories. Maybe I'll have a podcast or two about them. But in short, one thing I realize as I get to this point that I'm at right now is that no matter what, life just keeps on happening. And so I think that today's episode is going to be just about that. How to deal with life and how to keep trying to stay consistent or motivated when life takes a sudden turn, because that is bound to happen. Life is going to happen. And as your motivation guy, I can definitely say I understand that it will get overwhelming. And one thing my pastor always says is you're either coming out of a storm, you're in the middle of a storm, or you're heading into one. And basically what that's saying is that at any point, a storm is on its way. And you got to be prepared for that, because all of you guys, everyone who's listening to me has things they want to accomplish. If every time life happens and stuff just changes all of a sudden, you have to be ready to adjust if you want to be able to maintain. You're either, really it's like you're either going to be in control of your life or life is going to control you. And so it's tough because there's so many things that happen outside of our controls, but today I'm hoping to be able to leave you guys with a couple of tips that I think will help push you in those tough times. And so it maybe even help you get prepared for those tough times now rather than when they're happening. Because I will tell you, it's way easier to do preventative measures than it is to, get healed. And that's in all aspects. One thing it always makes me think about when I think about maintaining consistency is working out. The people who are fitness experts were working out on their bad days, which truthfully is mind-boggling to me. In the same way, there are podcasters who are going through nightmares like I've faced and still dropping content like they said they would. And how do they do it? It's really just planning for it. There's a lot of things that go in my opinion, there are a lot of things that go into place beforehand that helps them to be able to accomplish that. And so, as I've said multiple times before, in life you're going to be guaranteed adversity. So you have to figure out how to deal with it properly if you're ever going to maintain your goals. And so one of my first suggestions for everybody in terms of maintaining consistency while facing adversity, develop a routine. That's number one. If you always do something at a certain time, it's going to be really hard to break that habit even when you don't feel like it. Usually our greatest mess ups in life happen when we're outside of our routine. So on a good day, figure out what your perfect day looks like. What is your routine? When do you wake up? When do you work out? When do you read? When do you study? When do you do all of these things? Maybe if you can kind of build that muscle memory, it'll be that much easier to stay consistent with it. Your day will feel weird if you're not reading at 5 p.m. because that's when you've always been reading. Your day will feel weird if you're not practicing your instruments at 3 because that's what you always do. Number 2, this is another one, have accountability. This is a big one because in life, it is really hard to do anything by yourself. That is something that I'm really realizing. You'll have bad days where it's going to be difficult to keep up with a routine. And I think that's very true. And so that's why I say surrounding yourself with the right people will get you out of a rut way faster than trying to pull yourself out. And so, like me personally, I haven't recorded in a week. And I got a text yesterday that said, yo, when's the latest episode? You still doing your podcast? I wanted to hear it. And today I'm recording. Last week's and this week. So I'm going to have 2 episodes coming out today. But it might have felt small to that person. But knowing that someone is watching me gave me a boost. And so while one, I want to encourage you guys to be good accountability partners and support your friends and stuff like that too. If you don't have someone in your corner, get someone in your corner. The easiest way to make a friend is to be a friend, I hear. So be good to people, and people will be good to you. Be held accountable. Because Odd says that if you're down, it's easier to stay down if you're trying to get yourself out of it on your own. And actually, speaking of that, that brings me to my third point. Don't make it harder on yourself. If any of you guys are like me, then sometimes you can guilt yourself or shame yourself into extending your own slump. So I'll give an example. Like, I can have a day where I feel bad that I didn't work out yesterday. So now it's like, okay, I didn't work out today, so I'm not going to eat right today. Or, okay, well, shoot, my whole week's off. I'll start again next week. So, or it's like you'll get into the mindset that your whole week is wasted because you messed up here. And so something like you not being perfect and sticking with your routine or sticking with your plan will be an overarching defeat for you. And that can kind of extend past just that instance. And you won't be perfect. I think that's something that's key that everyone has to remember. But although you'll have off days and although you will slip up, the best thing you can do is acknowledge it and figure out if there's something you can do to kind of fix what happened and keep pushing. Don't let one hiccup or mess up or a slip up from your routine allow you to miss out on more and put yourself further back just because you psyched yourself out into believing that if you can't maintain a certain standard, you might as well not continue. It's like your mind can just build things into something they're not. I didn't do it, and now I'm back doing it. And I'm going to keep doing it. So expect consistent podcasts from me and more information from me. But for all of you guys, I'm really wishing the best for you in tough times. And in case I didn't already make it clear, tough times are going to happen. And there are going to be times when you won't even be able to avoid, being really down. Like there are some situations where I think it'd be hard to maintain a routine even if you're like the most consistent person in the world, and that's okay. Have people around you who will help you get out of ruts, and don't make things hard on yourself. For all you guys, if you are going through anything or if you need any support in any way that I can provide, reach out to me on all my socials because I'm still active on there. And let's grow. Let's keep pushing. Stay motivated, guys. Stay hopeful. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Orange Juice Podcast. Be great.